Hi everyone, this is Soren, Black Belt Mindset and Business Coach. We're very fortunate to have Nick Regnier. He's the Managing Director of Cledor. So let's find out more about Cledor and about Nick.
My name is Nick Regnier. I was born in France, in Brittany, and during my teenage years, I studied hospitality in hospitality reputable school, university, and I then went on to take a full daring sort of trip abroad to go to England, and essentially it was to learn another language. So, and also to discover, different city like London. So when I moved into London in 1991, I began working in hotels again because it was quite essentially easy to find a job. If you're a Frenchman and you studied hospitality, you definitely will be finding jobs quite easily. And I love the fact that if you work hard, you have enormous amount of possibilities in the UK. So I love the fact that the city made me feel free. Wasn't being judged about my dress code, whatever people want to wear. It feels like you're there to express yourself. And I fell in love with the cities really, and opportunities were amazing. And I remember I was offered a job to work as a door supervisor. So I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do, but because the door supervisor's work was going to give me more financial security at that time, because working in hospitality, the money is not that great, or was not that great then. And it's because also I have a passion aside of my venture working in hospitality, which is Aikido, martial arts, Japanese martial arts. And it was for me a great opportunity to understand what really goes on when you're facing difficult situations, challenges.
How did Aikido, for those who might not know much about Aikido, how did Aikido help you working in that environment?
Well, for me, Aikido is a unique martial arts. I mean, it's like the same for any other martial arts. Every martial art will bring you something very unique. But for me, it really answered to my needs because I have a profound hearing loss. So it's something that I have to live with. But Aikido gave me amazing sort of tools to give me confidence, to feel empowered, and give me determination, laser focus, attention. And the training kind of helped me to rebuild my inner self-confidence and believe in myself more. And also, aside from learning how to defend yourself, but it is also an inner self learning about your soul, forging your mind, to be stronger, to also face difficult situation, but with calmness. So you'd be able to step back and, sort of use a rational mindset, stay calm and analyze the situation better. So Aikido as a martial art is amazing because in order to do great Aikido, you have to have an empty mind. And if you're thinking too much, you can't do it. And so it's also about building sensation, feelings, meeting other people. And actually, Aikido gave me an amazing sort of force with self-belief, because I felt perhaps I couldn't take on a specific job because of my hearing disability. But Aikido has given me, if you like, another starting point in my life, thinking, it's going to be difficult, but you go through that path, and with the tools, Aikido can help you build and stay confident. So you're actually learning to face your own fear and push the boundaries further away. And that made a big difference.
How has that helped you now that you're managing director of Cledor?
Massively,
Tell me about the journey.
because you see, when you learn a martial arts, you learn to defend yourself. You do all the physical things, but you also learn to stay composed under duress, under pressure. For example, in Aikido, you're learning to fall backward and forward, but that process means it helps you to stay calm during that pressure, because no one wants to fall. It's exactly the same thing about a business. You're getting pressure left, right, center, but it's to stay centered and to analyze the situation as best as possible, so you are not losing your cool, you stay calm, and you make the best decision. So if you're making a decision, you say, we're going to go full on in that direction, you really commit fully on in that direction. It's will be quite a bad decision, business decision, if you are going to venture into something, but you don't, one, believe in it, and two, you go only 50% and you're not fully engaging. So for me, that is likely to fail, more likely to fail than anything. So it's the same thing with Aikido. You're learning to engage fully into a technique or doing something, and then subconsciously, it helps you to have a right frame of mind. So, running a business with around about 95 members of staff, it's not for the light-hearted people. You have to be able to manage a team and motivate your entourage and your management team, and altogether pass on the right methodology, the right mindset, and treat people with respect, and so on and so on. So, it isn't something, when I began with Cledor, that everything was given to me. Is I've had to work hard to get to that level, and also working from the ground up, you're getting an appreciation what it is like for our workers when they work on the ground. And so for me, it's a very essential to give them respect and to show them that you value the effort that they are providing, and also to show them the right etiquette, the right mindset is so essential. Um, it goes a long way. If you're going to present yourself and you're working as a concierge, um, you know, also because I was heavily involved with hospitality environment, presentation is everything. If you don't look smart, if you don't dress smart, but you are very professional in what you're doing, you are not going to give the same impact with a service. But so you have to feel very smart, you dress adequately, and when you're providing a service, it really elevates the service to a whole new level. And you also feel more empowered, you feel better about it. So it's about teaching our staff the right etiquette, the right attitude when they go to work. Sometimes people don't realize that when they don't adopt the correct attitude, it affects them in the longer run, when they want to seek different jobs or they want to move on to a
Mm,
different role, managerial position, for example. So I'm there to actually show them that with hard work, we can succeed. And it's just determination, consistency, and
mm,
going for the extra mile. Also showing, when you do something, you do it full on, not half-half. Sometimes you may find that some members of staff could be working, but their mind is not at work. Their mind is somewhere else. So when they are there, they're not engaging enough with the clients, and we want them to be full on, attention to details, go for the extra miles, and always feel that you are on your toes, ready to move, ready to act quickly. And sometimes if we make mistakes, because we are offering a service, so it's not always 100% perfect.
mm,
But the essential thing, what the clients want to see, is how do you rectify the situation in a way that they feel confident about your ability to provide a very good service, and how you get to a win-win situation. Client is happy, staff
mm.
happy, everyone is happy. So there's a lot to be said about that.
Yeah. Well, tell me a bit about the types of service you provide with Cledor.
Well, we essentially provide on-site staffing services for residential sector and commercial sector. But essentially, we work a lot with, residential blocks of flats, for example, or premium properties. So there could be a range from a very small amount of units, apartments, we call it units, so it could be ranging from 10 units to 8,000 units. So what's interesting is you have a 10 units, it will be more premium service, more like a butler service, because that if they do require a concierge for this small amount of properties, it's because it is located in a very premium and high-end area, such as Mayfair, Belgravia, you name it, South Kensington, Chelsea, things like those areas. But you also have a concierge for a higher sort of level of units and more units. So the attention to details will differ. It's not going to be quite identical. Um, but this is what we are doing is we go and do assessments on sites and find out exactly what's the best requirement to having a concierge team. We also provide cleaning services, fire warden services, security services, caretaker services, managerial level, such as estate manager, head concierge, building managers, to assist our clients. So we could also very flexible in working, providing a number of range of services. Some clients do not want to be the employer for the staff. They prefer having a service supplier. So that's where we step in. We can do all of that for the clients. Or some clients actually prefer having the staff in-house for tax reasons and also to save a bit more money, but they don't want to have all the hassle of managing the staff. They prefer having a service supplier to be an outsource as an HR company and manage the staff, holidays, training, and so on. So we can step into that. Or you have clients that actually want to be the full-time employers. They want to do all of it, but they don't have a time to find the right candidates when they need to hire people. We call it a permanent placement. So we can assist providing very good candidates. So what we do is we do a number of preliminary interviews for whatever role they are seeking, and we want to make sure we get the right candidates so we're not wasting our clients' time, which is a good way to filter and screen through the preliminary CVs and have a good conversation with the candidates. And then we put our recommendation to the clients. So they're saving a lot of time because they can just get the right candidates who they want to see matching their needs. So we communicate with clients and see how what they want in terms of job description, what they're after, what they're looking for, and our team really does a very good job for that. So, yeah, these are elementary. All the type of services that we can provide. We've been doing it,
Brilliant.
for nearly 20 years now, and it's
Fabulous.
been running
Fabulous.
quite successfully.
I understand you're doing more work in the commercial sector, is that correct?
Yes, we commercial sector, we can do also corporate concierge, corporate security for office buildings, also cleaning is another area that we explore. And so that's an area that we can provide. Essentially, these are the three roles that will be definitely picked on by many of our clients if they desire to have on-site staff for corporate environment.
Brilliant. So there's a number of companies out there possibly offering similar services. What makes your company, Cledor, different?
Well, yes, you see, this is one of the primary reasons the reason why I set up Cledor back in 2005 is incidentally, I was working for a company that was providing residential concierge services for a number of residential blocks in High Park estates. And it became very apparent that the selection of their staff was ultimately the wrong thing, because they were appointing people who were rugby players, so very big lads, covering the reception, which is great for security, but residents not really essentially looking for somebody to be physically imposing. And I think what we're looking for is a residential concierge who has the know-how to greet people, just the same as what you will find in a high-end hotel hospitality environment. And they would know how to greet you, to come to the door. They would know that you're coming to the door. If you have bags or anything, they'll open the door, they'll offer their help to carry bags for you, and they'll greet you with how may I help you if there's anything you need from the concierge. And if you're looking for a specific address or a service that you're not quite sure because you just moved in, then I've always instigated that our concierge should be able to assist our resident. They may be in a hurry. We will find the information for them. We can send it by email or by WhatsApp or by text, whatever the client prefer. And I think that's a really good thing to do, as opposed to just replying, I don't know, I don't live around here. And that's something I've built that on for the past several years, really making that a big difference. Concierge should be just the same as what you would find in a hotel. but is suited for a residential environment. And that's why I call Cledor, because if you go to high-end hotels, they would have the cross keys on their jackets, the golden keys, and they're called Cledor Golden Keys Association. And it means that they have actually undertaken a very study, and they will be put through to a rigorous test to make sure they have passed a certain level that is needed to be part of that association. And nothing is impossible. They would find a way to do it, to get the information or book anything for to meet the residents' needs and beyond. So when we have a concierge, asking you a question, how may I help you? It's a very polite manner to approach someone, even if you're approaching somebody who may be up to no good, because you're suspecting the person is perhaps not a genuine resident, or somebody looking for opportunities to steal or to do other things that will be criminally unlawful. But by asking them how may I help you, they can't accuse you of being rude, and it takes them also off guard, because the first thing they'll be thinking, wow, I wasn't expecting somebody approaching me and asking how may I help you, and that forces them to say something. And then when they speak, you can identify where they come from. You know immediately if they're British or not, and so on and so on. So you're getting a memory of the conversation, of their face, and so on. And if you're somebody who doesn't want to be in a building, that's the last thing you want to do. But if you're
So you're saying
genuinely
that.
lost as a resident, you want that.
So you're saying that your training and customer services is very important for your clients.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is what makes us differentiates from many other companies, because I, again, from working in high-end hotels in London, and I've done security work in high-end hotels, managing and securing the premises, and you have to look for all aspects to minimize all kind of losses and protect the building and protect your residents. I mean, your guests, really, so to speak. So you're working towards prevention rather than cure, and for that you have to have a set of uh, emergency scenarios in place. And for me, training is essential, because when you provide a training to the staff, it's not just about the 99% of the task they will be delivering, which will be just expected, but it's also to train the staff with a 1% crisis. It's very important, because we don't want that 1% crisis to take place, quite frankly. But if it is inevitable, the staff will be more, composed and more confident in handling situation that will be seen as slightly difficult. So when we train the staff, we also encourage our clients to provide, to select members of our staff to go and shadow their staff completely free of charge. This is part of our service, to make sure that our staff are getting trained not only with the 99% of the main tasks, but to also go through with the emergency situation. Fire alarm, if you've got somebody stuck in the gas lift, if you've got power loss in the building, if you've got a leak in the units, or in more than one units, how do you isolate the valve? These are the things that you can do to minimize the damage that you can the property can get into. And I think that's really essential, because it's about minimizing cost or losses.
Interesting. I mean, you have an example of where that 1% has happened and you've managed it well.
Yes, we've had fires in several residential properties, and in my past years, I've had to deal with that. But essentially, what I always show and train our staff is, first and foremost, their safety is our primary, objective. And we don't want the staff to be putting themselves in danger, but also to put others in danger. So we are teaching them to make the right decision immediately to inform, for example, the fire brigade, to alert other residents. But if you have a resident, for example, stuck in a flat that is on fire, is to really reassure the resident and inform them if they can't open the door. We wouldn't try to open the door because we do not know how far the fire has, spread into their apartment. It's all about isolating the fire as much as possible in the property, but also by speaking, with assertiveness, but giving the resident, the full confidence that help is on its way, and helping them through so that they can be in another room with a wet towel and so on, and wait for the fire brigade to arrive, who will be at their rescue as quickly as possible. If we don't actually speak correctly and we don't provide enough confidence or assertiveness to the resident, they could in turn be panicking if they, for example, unable to get out from their flat. And if it's a high story building, they could be, probably thinking of jumping out of a building. And so we want to eliminate another sort of crisis situation that could be in our hands. So it's very important that we do that. And we also train the staff. If a fire situation is easy in a sense that you've located the danger area, and the first thing we would say is obviously evacuate as many people around nearby units, but to also go to the floor above and evacuate the residents as well, because the fire always spreads about, upward. So these are the essential things that we can teach our staff. And sometimes what I believe in doing is putting them through a role-play scenario situation to test them. Because if they are answering wrong, that is absolutely fine. But it's to make them realize the consequence of that action could have been if they didn't do the right thing. And by giving them this awareness and so on, I think it's very important to do that rather than just, not being on site and show them exactly the key points.
The role play is vital, being clear and training.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Let's move on to leadership. As a managing director of Cledor, tell me a bit about your role as a leader, because you're looking after nearly 100 employees.
Well, firstly, I strive to do the work as best as I can be, and we provide security and safety net, if you like, for our staff. So we give them the work and so on. Same for our managers. But it's about delegating tasks, but also to show them, you've got to lead, be an example, and so people can follow your path and not, do the work where you use your title and you exercise pressure on the staff. It's about respecting them and but get across the message, but it's respecting everyone you work with, regardless of their background, religions, sexual preferences, and so on. For me, it's completely irrelevant. Is they are human beings, and we can work together, and it's to connect as one whole company and in the same direction. So the MD is a bit like the captain on a ship. If something happens, we need to inform everybody what direction we're going. Everyone knows, so everyone is clear. But it's about communicating with the staff clearly and encourage the staff, and also go through difficult situation, but teach them and lead the way so that they can become very, very good managers ahead. So I'm 52 turning 53, so you're thinking your time, not saying I'm already been in my retirement yet. I still have a lot to offer, but what you want to do is leave a positive stamp, because in my past years working in hospitality, I was always in awe of general managers working in hotels. Somehow they were able to leave a magnificent stamp. And when they leave, people talk about them and they say, oh my gosh, we miss so-and-so, that general manager was amazing, and so on. It's because they knew how to connect with the staff. They were general managers, but they were not hiding in their office. They come down and visit everybody in every single department. And for me, that stayed inside me profoundly because it made me realize that's how you do it. If you look after staff, the business will take off. If you don't look after staff, but at the same time, you've got to be on the ground. If you don't do any of it, then you don't have many staff who will be loyal to
Mm.
you, who would want to work harder and to show you the great efforts and how we can do it. So, for example, I could be walking in a residential property and I see some litters on the floor, and we know that we have a cleaning service. For me, it's just picking up the litters. And or if I see a cleaner who's a little bit needs help to carry something, it's offer my help. And they
Mm.
get a bit taken by that because they're thinking, oh, but you're a director, you should not be doing it. No, it's about helping you.
Yeah.
And then suddenly they feel, wow, this person is extremely down to earth. And that is exactly what you want to
Mm.
do. As a good leader needs to be down to earth.
You're
You don't
saying
have to
communication.
be, exercising.
Yeah, communication and building
Absolutely.
trust.
I agree. I agree. Communication, building trust, and communicating with respect.
Mm. Because one of the things they talk about now is stress and well-being, psychological safety. So tell me a bit about that in your.
Absolutely. I agree because you see, I can feel it. The market has changed, and cost of living is really high. I can feel the pressure. I feel the pressure when I'm going out and do the shopping myself. I'm sometimes horrified to see how expensive it is for items that did not cost that much before. So I'm thinking, it must be very hard for some people. That cost of living, they go to work, but they're still immensely under pressure. And yet somehow it's about showing them the right way of doing things. You might have some problems, you might have issues, but when you go to work, what I said to our staff is you've got to put all your problem into a box. You close the box, you put it in a closet, and then you go to work and you completely focus on the work. And you'll find it's quite therapeutic because you're not thinking of your problems constantly. You're being distracted with something else. You do your tasks and so on. It's just the same as when you practice Aikido. You'll be full on practicing, learning the technique, improving and so on. But during that practice, you did not think one moment about private life, about business, about other things, about worries, about anything else. And I think that's really important because I tell the staff that if you go into an expensive restaurant and you're taking your partner to celebrate birthday, wedding anniversary, or anything special, and you know that the meal is going to be expensive, but if you're being greeted with a one waiter who both miserable, you will feel let down. You will feel deeply upset about it because you're spending money, but you're not getting the service that you really thought you deserve to get. So the waiters and the one waiters, they do the same thing. This is what we do in hospitality. You put your problem in a box, leave it in the closet, and you're there hospitality, greet the guests, the clients with a smile. And that is what hospitality is all about, being focused with a big smile. You greet people and do the best you can be. It's also you put yourself in their shoes. What kind of service would I want if I was in their shoes? I would want impeccable service. So I want to do the same. So you become more passionate about what you do. You become more, you care. You take great care about every little things that you do. Well, if you don't take great care, it's a bit like you're here, but you're not here. Your heart is somewhere else. But you have to put a focus and put your heart to things 100%. Take great care in providing a great service, and it will go a long way because people will remember you. I've worked in several hotels in the past, and when I go back to those hotels, people still remember me after 15 years, and it means that I must have done something positive because I was always very kind, very respectful to others. And, when you're working in security, sometimes people don't want to speak to you because they think you're the enemy. But actually, no, we understood we need the staff. We need every department to work together to secure the building and to work as a whole, enterprise where we can secure the building and give a best stay for our guests and so on and so on. And that's how you make it successful. It's a team effort.
That's fantastic. So in terms of sending a message out to potential clients, what message would you like to share?
What I would say, you perhaps haven't heard about Cledor. We are quite a niche company, but a unique company, because with my leadership, I'm very passionate about what I do. I believe in what we're doing, the services that we provide. We have a team of fantastic managers who also select the right people for the jobs. They are as passionate as I am, and they want to get it right. And we all want to get it right. So together as a team, we can make a big difference. We are big enough to nurture large contracts, and we can do a lot of great things, as we have done for many of our clients and still doing. We have a number of clients that still using Cledor for over 10 years. So it speaks for volume. To me, it just shows we know a contract don't, or it's not going to be something eternal, but when you have a contract lasting several years, that is definitely something that we're doing that is right. And we learn from our mistakes, and we want to get things right, and we improve, and that's how we do it.
Brilliant. So just summarize the key services that you offer, and how can they get hold of you? Is there a website address or something?
Well, website www.cledor.co.uk. You can send us an email, info@cledor.co.uk, which will be transmitted to all our managers. And the reason I say info@cledor, because you might be sending an email late in the evening, early in the morning. You'll be assured someone will respond to your email any day, 307 days a week, 365 days a year, no matter what day it is. Even if it's Christmas, we will assist you in any, whatever hours. We've got a system in place. You can also call us on 0207 403 5600. Thank you.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for your time, Nick. It's been a real pleasure, and I wish you all the very best of success and to making businesses' lives a lot easier and residents out there as well. You take care.
Thank you, Vash.